Ozempic, Wegovy, Mounjaro, all of these things, should you take them, should you not take them? Today I'm gonna be diving in and purely educating a little bit on these things so then you can make a decision on which way you wanna go. So this will just be pure education. I am not a doctor, so I'm not here to diagnose or anything like that. I'm here to give you my take on it and just then let you decide from there. So we're gonna go ahead and dive into it. GLP-1 is probably one of the most hottest things on the market as of right now, and a lot of people are using it, and honestly a lot of people are seeing really good success with it. I mean, the average weight loss roughly is around 40 pounds based on some of the things that I was looking into and researching on. So when it comes to should you use it, on the surface level, looking at it, if you are looking at the average amount of weight loss and you're trying to lose weight, the answer could be yes. But it's good to weigh some factors just before you dive in. Now, with all of this, like I stated in the beginning, I'm here to educate. I am not a doctor, so I'm just gonna talk a little bit about what are GLP-1s, are they for you? If you are on one, just a couple things that you need to take into consideration to make sure you set yourself up for success, not only right now with losing weight, but also long term. So I took a couple things down. So really what are GLP-1s? It's a glucagon-like peptide 1. So the main purpose behind it, it's there to help regulate blood sugar, insulin, and also your appetite too. So I have a very simple flow of how does it actually work. So you eat food and nutrients in the intestines will trigger GLP-1 release, because this is something that is naturally inside your body. So in normal physiology, like this is how it would happen. Then GLP-1 binds to receptors, signals to your pancreas, brain, gut, which then affects insulin release, obviously gastric emptying, satiety, glucagon obviously going down, all of those things. So it really helps out with that, and that's the stages it will really happen naturally. So for GLP-1, one of the main reasons it was designed was for people with diabetes, specifically type 2. I always get type 1 and type 2 confused for some reason. But it's really for the people that can't naturally produce maybe insulin or struggle with like just being able to shuttle some of the glucose out of the bloodstream, different things like that. So for anybody that has diabetes, it can be something that is actually beneficial. Now, the thing is, if we're looking at benefits of GLP-1, and like I was saying, I wrote a couple things down: blood sugar and insulin control, appetite reduction. Obviously it can help out with weight loss, because with anybody that is on GLP-1, well, the interesting thing is, it's gonna really cut down on your hunger. So therefore, you're not going to eat as much, which automatically puts you into a caloric deficit. So then you actually lose weight, and you can lose weight very, very, very rapidly. So when it comes to this, I'm not here to necessarily dive into, oh, well, is it good or is it bad? I want to be able to give you just the facts and then let you decide from here. So when it comes to GLP-1, so if you purely rely on GLP-1, will you lose weight? 100%. But this is where I like to distinguish between weight loss and fat loss, because weight loss is where you can be losing fat, but you also are going to be losing muscle. Fat loss is where you're ideally holding on to your muscle and you're losing your body fat. So with GLP-1, if you're on it, you gotta think that, well, maybe like you're not going to be eating as much food, which isn't necessarily your fault. It's just the effects of the medicine. So when it comes to this, since you're eating less food, yes, your weight will drop really fast, but then you're going to be losing some muscle. And if you just take some time to Google, anybody that's been on GLP-1 and really hasn't focused on good habits that just help them out with fat loss, well, then this is where you can get a whole lot of sagging skin. You are a smaller version of yourself, but you just kind of look skinny and not as strong or toned like you actually want. That's the best way that I can explain it. So I would encourage you, take a look at some pictures just to really be able to grasp all of this stuff. But the biggest thing that I would recommend if you are on GLP-1. Well, I know obviously hunger, and I've just talked with some people that are on it, and obviously you're not going to be as hungry as much, but the biggest thing you have to make sure you put a focus on, especially when you're on it, is making sure you're putting a high focus on protein. So because protein is going to help you hold on to muscle, and muscle helps you burn more calories throughout the day, make sure you have good fat loss. But more importantly here, it'll help out with making sure as you're losing the weight, once you get down to the weight that you want, if that's what you're using it for, well then you'll have a little bit more of that leaner, toner look, and it'll just be a whole lot better for you. Now, I understand when it comes to eating more protein is always already going to keep you fuller. So some things that I would really suggest is lean on protein shakes. If you're doing a good job of taking some protein in through whole food, that is great, good job. But this is where I would recommend looking at some clear flavors of protein. So for example, for First Form, we have Formula 1 Clear, and it's just light, it's more juice-like, so it's light on the stomach, it digests faster. And then there's also Formula 1, which is an isolate. Level 1's more of that meal replacement, so it'll digest a little bit slower. So look around, find something very, very similar to that to really set you up for success. Ideally, you want to get in 1 gram of protein per pound of goal body weight to help out with just holding onto your muscle tissue. So that's the first thing. Make sure you focus on protein. Second thing, really put a focus on movement. Specifically, make sure you do some resistance training. You don't have to do it every single day of the week. However, the main thing that you do want to do is make sure that you're doing probably about 3 to 5 times a week. That'd be great. Get in, move some weight, because this is going to give your body some resistance, help to keep your muscles around, which will obviously help out with your metabolism. But weight training, it's not going to make you big and bulky, especially when you're in a deficit. It's just going to help out with, honestly, giving your muscle a stimulus, which it will help it stay around, and then also help you have a leaner, toner look. So resistance training is going to help you have more of that toned looking physique that you actually want. Are you going to be shredded? I'm not going to promise that, because it always depends. But make sure you get in some resistance training. You don't have to do anything crazy. What I would recommend is maybe just do a traditional lifting program where you could do chest and triceps one day, you could do back and biceps, and then legs. If you're doing something like that, that's great. The main thing is just get in, move, and really establish that habit. Then third thing is really make sure hydration. Now, it's good to drink water, but more importantly, make sure you're getting electrolytes in. So this is where things like hydration sticks will come into play. So making sure you're actually getting hydrated. So that'd be the third thing to focus on. So you have focus on your protein, 1 gram of protein per pound of goal body weight, resistance training, hydration. Then lastly, and this is one that's really important to me, vitamins and minerals. And when it comes to vitamins and minerals, I'm going to also toss in some gut health here, because if you're thinking about it, how do you get vitamins and minerals in? Well, through fruits and vegetables, and specifically you need to be taking in 5 to 7 different types of fruits and veggies on a daily basis to roughly get you about to where you need to be from a micronutrient, so a vitamin and mineral intake standpoint. Now, why vitamins and minerals are important to you is because, well, they're involved in almost every function inside the body. So hair, skin, nails, immune system, bone, eye health, a whole lot of different things. So vitamins and minerals help out a lot with helping you utilize the food that you're taking in, and also just a lot of overall health functions. You're not going to feel it working by any means. It's not like a pre-workout, but they're very important to your overall health. Then lastly, with the gut health side of things, well, how you can help out with your gut health is you can eat foods that are rich in probiotics and digestive enzymes. So probiotic foods would be like kombucha, kimchi, different things like that. From the digestive enzyme side of things, if you're eating things like tropical fruits, so pineapple, papaya, for example, well, then that will help out with getting digestive enzymes in. However, you got to think, well, if you are on GLP-1s or you're looking at doing it, well, you won't have that much of an appetite. So that's just more food you're going to have to try to eat. So this is where find a really, really good micronutrient pack or a multivitamin. Make sure the multivitamin is capsulated so it'll just digest better and you can start to absorb it better and get more of the benefits from it. So for example, First Form has Microfactor, something I recommend, but you can go anywhere and just find a really good multivitamin. Not a hard-pressed tablet, ideally. Then from the gut health side of things, if you can eat some of those foods, that's great. You can find a greens powder that'll have probiotics and digestive enzymes in it to help out with just putting good bacteria into your gut. That's what probiotics are there for. It's a living bacteria, a good bacteria for your gut to help you absorb your food better. And even from the gut health side of things, it's important a lot for your immune system, the breakdown and absorption of your food. So it is important to make sure you're taking those things in. Then really from the gut health side of things, you could look at standalone probiotics, digestive enzymes. Those can be good too. So those are really 4 habits to focus on if you're on GLP-1s or you're thinking about going on it. I mean, absolutely, like there's people that have had great success stories with it. There's also people that have had not so good stories with it, honestly. So it just depends on how you actually approach it. Work closely with your doctor. Make sure that you're doing things the right way. I've heard of people that just cold turkey stop it, and there can be some nasty things that happen after that. So make sure you're in close connection with your doctor. Also, and you got to make sure you establish these habits, because I think it was around 70% of people typically rebound coming off of just like Ozempic or Wegovy or Mounjaro or just GLP-1s in general. And it's not because the shot or the pill is making you lose weight. It's the fact that you come off of it and you go back to normal eating habits, everything like that. You start eating in a caloric surplus or just eating more food than you were. So the weight's going to come right back on. So my biggest thing is just to remember with all of this that the shot in of itself isn't what makes you lose weight. The thing that makes you lose weight is, okay, well, the GLP-1 is making you not as hungry and you're eating less food. So therefore you're in a caloric deficit, so you lose weight. So that's the biggest thing that you have to remember. So with GLP-1s, again, like I know more research is going to come out about it. More research is slowly dripping out about it. But it's just best to stay as informed as possible on it. That's why I'm going to continue to look into it. I gave you what I have here. If you have more questions you want me to dive into, or maybe you're watching the video and you have a really good research article, feel free to drop it inside the comments. I would greatly appreciate that, because that's the whole purpose of all this, is just to inform everybody, give out free information so you don't have to pay for it, and set you up for success along your weight loss journey, and just making sure you're set up for overall health. So hopefully today was helpful for you. Like I said, if you got questions, drop them in the comments below. Make sure you like, subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. And other than that, y'all have a great day, and I'll see y'all next time.